Good evening, folks. It's 2242 on the 25th day, 5th month, 2022. Right, it's getting down to the wind down time for your major storms. Like I said, I've been in total disagreement with them saying you guys was going to have a big event along this area here. Where really only major event I see coming is for this area here because of a major beaming event that's forced some moisture down. Now I'm going to go ahead and roll this. And while I do for a second, I'm going to switch over, see that it's actually filming. Yep, good. So this coming ashore here is being driven by the EMF of this. As this moves on here in a few days, you're going to see a very significant amount of water coming in toward that area I warned you about. Um, well, what, about 4 or 5 days ago, when I gave you that 10-day, 14-day forecast, something like that. I said, watch it. This one's backing up predictably. Like I said, it was going to come in and go away, and it's not coming ashore. Only the tip of the Fraser Islands really majorly affected by that, winds and stuff. But the EMF is actually taking the moisture, just forcing it down. And this is actually an EMF force move. You're going to see two circulations develop from here and here. And one's actually going to pinwheel off the other, meaning it separates it. And the moisture from this strips off and comes inland. Watch. And it's going to be significant as this comes ashore. All that major water stayed offshore here. Now I'm going to stop this. Now this is where things are about to get interesting for this area. So I'm going to zoom in for now. And it's a lot of water, so you get an idea. See, so that's just not just like a cupful. The jumps on my clock here are 1 hour increments. So as it comes ashore here around Karatha, you see the land itself dissipates a lot of the intensity of the main moisture, so it drops right on the edge. So now you got a lot of thunder and lightning, so you can look for tornadic activity. And there's a radar over here somewhere I can't quite find. And that was kind of that weather plan showing evidence of it. That the electrical potential, when that thing reached over near where that is, triggered off a heavier rains. And I've noticed this for a while that this has happened. And this is Saturday my time, so it would be like Sunday about 10 in the morning, 11 in the morning. This is going on right here. And that's a lot of rain coming in. That's going to affect these people. In Dampier, I believe, is right in the sights of this. I'm not familiar with what's on these streets, but you were in the firing line for very much of a lot of rain. And if I give you your accumulations over the next 5 days, that's a lot, right? You're headed toward a lot. But then I go to the next 5 days, you're not a huge increase for 5 days to only tick up that little bit. And to go before here and there's hardly there, that's telling me that's a major rain event, that this is actually quite accurate with the amounts that are coming. And it's following a chem line. So if you're in these areas, you know your flood areas, you're going to cop it. You know, you got mountains around here or hills. I'm just not as familiar. I never got a chance to see that. Those are actually pretty low at only 102. Okay, let's call it a hill. And you'll have, with winds offshore, you have to be concerned about tides, especially on this side here, where stuff can back up in the river. So the rivers that normally flow out can't flow out because of the pressure what's coming in prevents that. But like I said, I'm not as familiar with the setup, but I would say that the Karatha Airport here is fall in the not too good category. The same with Bailey Avenue here, Goddard Street, and Karasek Way. These businesses, you might want to consider moving your stock, right? It's not a conspiracy to prevent things, and that's coming from the weather plan. And so if it's Sunday 5 a.m. my time, you're looking probably about 3 in the afternoon on that Sunday, your time, 29. And you're looking at total rain accumulation over those day periods from when it starts. Right? It's not there, so you're looking at from here to here when the major rains are coming. So let's look at the plan here for, I guess it's pronounced Dampier. Here she comes, the G-O-N's your street. Chem bomb bomb, look from every cloud you see. Boo, 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 plume. Oh my. So it's just hovering because the low's just parking. Because the circulation is that direction, has to be low. Well, it ain't particularly low. Oh, 14 is atmospheric pressure. It ain't all that. Shouldn't be a huge storm blowing up from that. And not a cyclone, that's for sure. Oh, that's a big line of stuff. So if all that comes inland over the next few days, that's your total. That's a lot of moisture. Would you run already? Here we go. Marble Bar. Some cool names. Broome. That's just hovering off coast. So really I won't concern myself any further than that. That's a major storm. Is Broome's catching a head on? What are the winds like? Oh my. Yeah, there's very heavy winds turning. That's all offshore. That's coming from offshore. This is the onward wind. So anything out here is going to be very, very dangerous. What's the temperatures of these waters? That's warm. Oh man. Here's the recipe for the disaster. We have moisture, we have extremely warm tropical air, and we got cold through here. That's the kickoff. I add the catalyst and you got the rest. What are we looking like? It's a few days away, so what you see here won't necessarily be that set up. All I see here is the energy band. Some microwave bzzz going on here over this. From the assholes over the atoll. Chem bombs blowed off here all out to sea. But we're still days away from that event. So the main setup of that's just all this geoengineering getting the seasonings in the sky to brew up a proper storm for you. So let's see if we see anything going off out here on your sat viewer. It's going to take a minute to load. Yeah, that's not good. So there's your temperature differences. You got the near same setup on this coast, but quite a little bit different. Because this is coming in cold over cold, you're not getting that break where the tropic air is pointing in. Oh, that's cold up in them mountains. That's going to create a little bit of a draft. Yeah, you guys are a bit cold come that day. Nine. I also look at what time of day it is. Your nighttime temperatures are very cold. Yeah, man. Oh my, look at that. Look at these temperature differences. This is going to fuel storms along this corridor right here. It has to. All the dynamics are there. You got the moisture, and the chem will see. You're going to need some EMF to fuel this. So let's go on over here, see what's going on. Oh man, look at that chem line that you got going on. That's not a little bit of area. It'd take you a long time to fly from here to there. It'd be like flying to Bali, which is here, right? From here to here is about like from there to there. That's not a quick flight. What's going on down here? Square form, with a big chem bomb dispersal on the top. Well, let's run it. Infrared grayscale and roll that beautiful bean footage. Gases. That's why I say that, because it's like watching farts in the sky. Imagine it does. It smells like if get in some places from what you guys are telling me. Bit eggy, bit oh my, look at the plume here. Just sits still, just pluming away here. Plume, 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 plume. Over beautiful Harvey Bay. You know that those whales' blowholes need a little bit of sulfuric acid to come out of them, don't they? No, they do not. So adding sulfur dioxide to our atmosphere is it's counterintuitive to that goal to keep the blowholes free. Yeah, free the blowholes from the blowholes. I'm just keeping an eyeball. I'm seeing square forms blowing off here. Continual pluming, boom, 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 off the coast here. But this is my concern. Come on, clear up. They give us a clear image or something. But yeah, when you get like a traffic ticket, they can zoom in there and tell you what was on the newspaper or using your phone. But you can't even zoom in and show me a clear picture of the sky. Everything just pluming on down at once. It's like fucking watching the angel of death creeping along the ground over there in the Ten Commandments. Where, well, thou shalt not steal the sunlight should be one of them. Thou shalt not covet all the stuff that we own, and thou shalt not kill. Well, I see a whole lot of violations of Moses' rules here. That's not cool. Not cool at all. Chem bombs fucking suck, man. That's some heavy activity over here. Sorry if it's zooming in and out and out and in. Let's get rid of some of the cities there and see what the aroma of aroma is. Bit of a boil going on here as the plume goes off. Boom! Boom! Bit of a boom, boom, boom. Go to plumes. What we got going on out here over the ocean? Crapitization. Chem bombs going off here. I'll just slow that down a little bit. Zoom out. Get a straight line to all this, folks. Everything's going this way except this one plume. And it's like decides like it's being, I don't know, for lack of a better term, it's like a drone's coming along and making a cloud. My eyes see that. Why is it staying in place? Why ain't it moving along? Why? Because it's geoengineering and the weather plan says, no, we need that cloud to be there to sustain itself. And fuck all the ocean life underneath it. Boom, boom, boom! To life on this planet if they keep this up. And these plumes here ain't healthy. I keep telling you, man, that ain't a Lysol in this guy disinfecting you. It's an infectant, not a disinfectant. And this shit need to stop because it's dissing my ease, man. Dissing my ease as the chem bombs fill the breeze. Watch this one here. This ain't like a Happy New Year finale here. This is like, boom! Have some death. Boom! Fuck your sunshine. Boom! Toxified on blowholes. It's this big square thing. It might as well be a fucking goddamn guillotine coming down on all the ocean life over here and all these reefs out of here. And it's absolutely disgusting that these boom boom plumes are allowed to continue toxifying all life on this planet. All of us. And you're going to get it. It's coming. You're many days away. But the best news I had of all the report tonight was that you guys along this coastline ain't getting it as bad as people say. Here's your 10-day rain amounts, okay? Calm your farms. And over here, move the animals from your farms. Okay, get that taken care of because this highness over here, that amount could just as soon quickly come ashore. And all this is going to hit in about 3.5 days. Okay? Get ready. Batten down the hatches. Thar she blows. Thar she blows. Big love. Peace.